Yeah, we hadn't really considered home birth until our NCT class that we went to, and then they kind of just planted the seed of the idea, and then from there we're like, okay, well, let's kind of do some investigations into it, and the more we looked into it, the more we liked the idea of being at home in your own environment and just being able to relax. And I think it's important for obviously the mother who's giving birth, but also it was important for me as well. I just felt like I'd be a little bit more comfortable at home. I would actually feel a bit more useful as well.
Well, it started at 8 o'clock in the evening-ish, didn't
Yeah.
it? But then the contractions were from 11 at night until 4 in the morning, then just stopped. Then just nothing more. So I managed to get some sleep, and I think it was my body's way of telling me to get some sleep before the big event. And to be at home and to not have gone anywhere and talked to anybody, it was nice to then just go to bed. We then got up, walked the dog, had a nap, and then I came back again.
When the contraction started, so that was at midnight. It was not until 3 p.m. the next afternoon that the actual midwife came round. So it was 15 hours after the actual contractions had started until they checked how far along Hannah was, and she was only 2 centimetres. So at that point it was a bit disheartening, but for that whole 15 hours we were at home again, which was quite nice, because we were able to just chill out, put TV on, put music on, and that was quite nice.
During that stage, we'd been in every room, and I'd been on every floor, and I'd lay on the bed, I'd lay on the floor, I'd been in the bath, the shower, the Swiss ball, the set, every possible place to try and get comfortable. Obviously nowhere's particularly comfortable during labour, but you wouldn't have that many options at hospital, would you? Like when you're in hospital, there's only so many different options of location and environment and lighting, and we could literally, I could go round, apart from the kitchen, I think. I don't think I had a contraction in the kitchen. I think we just were able to find lots of different positions to just try, to get comfortable during the contractions, which I think was good to be at home for that.
We got the birthing pool set up really, really early. Hannah really wanted to get into the birthing pool early, but if you get in before you actually establish labour, it can slow things down. So until it was not until like 7 o'clock that evening. So by that point, Hannah had been in labour for like 19 hours before she was able to get into the pool. The midwives properly arrived only at around 6:30, 7 o'clock with all the equipment, and you were able to get in the gas and air and then get into the pool, and then things progressed pretty quickly after that, didn't they?
I was able to get into a bit of a rhythm in the water, wasn't I? It was really nice being in the water. It was just, I felt so much more soothing, if you like, being weightless. And yes, like Chris said, I was 5 centimetres before I got in the water, and it was about 5 hours before I was fully dilated. But then when they did test me, do the cervix check later on, they did notice that her head was a little bit stuck, so I had to get out of the water. So whilst being out of the water, we had to do some rocking to try and get her head through the pelvis, cervix,
and both probably.
Yeah, to try and get her through, and that was the tricky bit, because I did want to have her in water, but I could feel that things weren't right in the water, and the midwife said afterwards, things weren't progressing, you needed gravity to help you. We did have a moment of worry at the end there, didn't we? Where both of us looked at each other and went, can we finish this off here? Because it was difficult with her head stuck. And
just due to the length of the actual labour itself, we were beginning to think, okay, this is maybe not right, something might be wrong, and Hannah got the energy to actually finish it off. At that point, the midwives are fantastic, and they literally were like, no, you can do this. It's going to be probably only a maximum of 2 hours until you give birth to this baby, and you can stick to your original plan, which was giving birth in your own home. Which
is brave of them to give a time scale, bearing in mind they don't really know. And afterwards, that was quite a brave thing to do. Looking back, everything happened exactly like it should have done. The waters broke and what have you. So then
I don't think we each weren't prepared for the long first phase, which probably slowed things down a little bit. But
once she came, we were on our own settee, and then I was able to sit in the snuggle chair and feed her for her first feed. And then she came at 1:24 a.m. and by 5 o'clock midwives had gone and she was down for 5, she slept for 5 hours. We were in our own bed and she was in her own Moses basket, and we all just snuggled, and the next morning it was just wonderful, wasn't it? The three of us. I would do it again, definitely.
Don't get me wrong, labour is obviously tough. It was probably the hardest thing that Hannah's obviously ever had to do physically, and mentally for me it was really tough. But, you know, being at home rather than in the hospital, I think for both of us meant that we could relax so much more, and you know, and then obviously afterwards the ability to be able to literally have your baby and then you're in your own environment. There's none of this mucking about where I had to go off or had to separate from Hannah. So we went home, and we were in home, and we just, you know, and then we just cracked on really, and it was all good.
It was wonderful.